Welcome to cabin 14001. Let's enter together. The door is now closed behind us. Let's put my card in the light switch. Lock. Without that, no lights will come on in this room at all. Now, I don't need them, but there are plenty of people with me that do. Right, so let's start with our back to the door, which we do have, and to our left and right, if I stand in the middle of the corridor, you can probably tell that almost the width of my arms is a wall either side. Behind me and to the left is a light switch, and above that is a holder for your card. It doesn't matter which cruise card you use, just one of them has to be in and then the lights come on. Above that are two buttons. The top one is the do not disturb button, and the bottom one is a please make up my room button. And they're sort of like radio buttons with three states. Top one can be selected, neither can be selected, or the bottom one can be selected. When neither is selected, it's in like a ready state and normally suggests that probably somebody's home, that kind of thing. Alright, so we walk forward a bit, and I'll keep my hands out, and exactly at the same point on either side, here, there are doors, and these go into bathrooms. There's a bathroom on the left, and a bathroom on the right, and what we've done is we've designated the left-hand bathroom as mine and Kirsten's, and the right-hand bathroom as Jake and Alice's. So, let's close that one, and let's enter this one on the left. It's a step up, and we'll close the door behind us, and as you can hear, on our left, that is a very reverberant shower. If I open the shower, it gets less reverberant as you click your fingers and close it again. So there we go, that tells us that. Oops. So walk forwards and we reach a sink. And it's only like, let's see, if I walk at my normal step rate, I'm right in the back of the room. 1, 2, not even 1.5 steps, we'll call it, to the sink. And the sink sounds like that. To the left of the sink is the obligatory toilet. And of course the obligatory, there we go, toilet must be obligatory toilet flushed, because on a ship, as like a plane and some trains, it does not sound like a normal house flush. So let's give it a go together. That's the whole thing. That rather noisy exodus, if you will. It's based on suction, and it's rather fun. So let's turn around and walk out. Step down, close the door, walk across the hallway, open the door, step up and in, and pull the door behind us. So in this room, it's a little different. The sink is immediately to my left. There is the toilet to the right, and why not, we'll repeat the same test. It's right here. More forceful than ours. I don't use this one because, well, it's not mine to use. But anyway, and directly in front of me, I've got my head in the gap, is a bath and shower combo. So the shower is over the bath. So I know Alice likes baths. Jake is more of a shower person. Okay, exit. Step down, close door. Once again, walking straight forward, and in a moment you will hear a fan on the right hand side. This is the first of two bedrooms. And on the left, let me just check. Okay, yeah, right opposite this bedroom is another room, which we'll walk into on the left hand side. And let the door close behind me. This is a walk-in wardrobe for the entire cabin. There are hangers and shelves and all sorts of things in here, and it's quite a tight space, as you might be able to tell, and you can lock yourself in. And by the way, in every single room is a speaker on the ceiling. And on the first 2 days we were here, because I'm actually recording this way after I should have done, actually on where are we? Today is Saturday, so we only have 2 nights left, full days, and we leave on the Monday. And it's just because we've been so busy, I didn't get a chance to do this earlier, but now I'm doing it. So on the first 2 nights we were here, so Monday night and Tuesday night, at about 5 or 6 p.m, there was the emergency announcement telling you must go to this deck and go through all the fire procedures and what have you. And we thought it was going to happen every single night. Now, thankfully, it didn't. I think that was actually a mistake. It should have only happened in our cabin on the first night, but it happened on the Tuesday night as well. So, and the reason I mention that is because it happens in every single room. The bathrooms, this walk-in wardrobe, the cabin itself, this living space that I'm in here, which is quite large, and so on. And it's very loud, very loud. So let's walk into the kids' bedroom, and the noise you hear in here is actually Jake's laptop fan. So as you walk in, let's say that you walk in properly instead of sidestepping as I did. So I turn to the right and walk in. The doors behind me, it's open, and let me show you how much the engine noise of the cabin drops out, the ship drops out when you close the door. That much. Reopen it again. The master cabin, mine and Kirsten's cabin, is way quieter, which you will hear soon. But anyway, as you walk in, there is a bed to the left, which is Alice's bed. A few steps forward, another bed to the left, Jake's bed, and a few more steps forward, end of the cabin. To the right is a wardrobe and some drawers and what have you. So that's that. Let's come out and turn back straight so that the bedroom is on the right and this walk-in wardrobe thing is on the left. Okay, walking straight, we get into a more open area, as you might be able to tell. Quite a lot more room now. And to my right is a mirror, and on the wall, at sort of shoulder height, which I keep knocking into, is a television. It is currently unplugged for reasons that because the kids' room has no plug sockets in it whatsoever. None. Not a one. So we asked at reception for an extension, and they gave us one. They gave us two, actually, because our room only has one plug in a very inconvenient place. And so I took it and ran the plug from the living room TV backwards and round the corner back into this room. So their door, therefore, doesn't shut all the way, but they would rather that and be able to charge up their things than have no plugs in the room at all. So that's what we did. Alright, to the left of me here is a sofa, quite nice, and behind me slightly, just as the room begins to open up, there's a whole bunch of things. There's an ice bucket here with some tongs on top of it, and a lid. Is the lid at all musical? It is. Can make music with all sorts of things, you know. There's some stuff up here. I don't even know what half of it is. There is also a phone that has an entirely touch screen interface, and the first day I touched it, it started to tell me that there was a mailbox with no voice messages in it, and it was all incredibly annoying. So that happened, stuff like that. Then, as I walk, there's a coffee table here, a nice one, and it has a rim around it, I guess being on a ship, so that glasses put near the edge won't fly off if the weather is, you know, a bit annoying. The sofa continues. I've walked around the coffee table. Here to the left of the sofa is Jake's tripod, which we use to take pictures of us dressed up all in the evenings before we go to dinner at the restaurant. There's a nice blank bit of wall here, and then we get to a round dining table on which is my lunch. Ah yes, I didn't tell you where everybody else is. At the moment, everybody else is out for the day because they went to Italy. Well, we're in Italy now, and they are in Naples. But I decided I was going to stay here and just enjoy the peace and quiet because I've already been to Naples and I just didn't fancy doing that. So they left me some lunch under a cloth napkin and all sorts of things, so I'll have that later. But before we go any further to the last part, let's go into our bedroom here, which is a bit bigger, I believe. And you can already hear, even with the door open, that this room is quite quiet. They thought about the adults of the house and given our room a very nice, quiet atmosphere. So, of course, only one big bed here. It's actually two singles put together, but they seem to be longer than normal singles. They're rather nice. And if you walk in, and I turn to the right so that the door's to my back, then there's a lot of space on the left, and that's the wall that leads to the TV on the right. If I walk forward, I'm on Kirsten's side of the bed, and over here we have some drawers and her bedside table in front of me. And you just heard my laptop blaring across the room, has my Bose speaker plugged into it. And if I turn to the left 90 degrees and walk the wall here, then there's a TV on the wall, again at shoulder height, and I have to kind of squeeze past it, and we get to a curtain on the wall, And here is some glass, which leads on to the last part of the tour in a second, which is the cabin balcony. Now, if I sit down, to my right is my laptop, and if I press a button, it will come alive. There it is, and the speaker's plugged into it. I was listening to something before I started this tour, and so, yeah, the room is quite large. So what I'll do is get up now, walk back to the door, and I'm going to shut this door. Listen to how quiet it gets in here once I do that. So quiet. So even when the ship is, full sail, full steam ahead, it's super quiet and not as loud as it is in the bathrooms or in just the main area of the common area of the cabin. Opening the door, look, I'll walk you back for comparison. Let's go back here, past the coffee table on the right, past the TV on the left, into the narrow section, coming up to where the door is. And if I stand just here, with my back to the entrance to the entire space, you can hear how noisy it is out here. So they've done their best to, I don't know, use dampening or vibration of some sort to make sure that people have a nice, quiet sleep. It's very welcome. Okay, so the last part of our little tour today is to go on to, we have a balcony on the cabin, in the cabin, so let's go on to that. So I walk to the very end of the room, and in front of me, past the dining table, there's a wall here. Actually, it's a big window, which you can see onto the balcony. And if I push the door to my right, 90 degrees to my right, we step into a little tiny lobby. And I let the door go. And it shuts very nice and satisfactorily quiet. So if I step to my right, behind me is the same window that I walked past in the main bedroom, the master bedroom, on my side of the bed. And so it actually looks over this lobby behind me, and in front of me is the balcony door, which is a sliding door. So we lift the handle, we slide the door to the right, and we step out onto the balcony. It's very, very hot out here today. I think it's going to be a maximum of 31 degrees here in Naples. You can hear whatever we can hear, whether it's boats or a helicopter or whatever. I assume it's boat stuff. But what we don't hear when the ship is under power, because we're at the very front of the ship, or as near as makes no difference, is we don't hear ship engine noise at all. You just hear very slight wind noise and the sound of the sea very, very gently, but it's far below because we're on deck 14, and that means that we are X amount of meters above the water, which is quite a significant amount, as you might imagine. So there's a railing in front of me which is slightly curved. You can't rest your phone on it because it isn't flat, and in front of my head, as you might be able to tell, kind of head height, is a 2-panel thick pane of glass, which is like a windscreen, and it sort of is a baffle, and means that if you want to see over it, if you're small, you end up having to stand on a chair very carefully, because it's all very safe and this stuff is very thick. I'm not sure what that noise is, but it is certainly loud. It's an engine of some kind, of course. I don't know if it's building work or something like that, or a boat. I'm not really sure. But yeah, we'll step back inside because it's incredibly hot out there. Close the door. Quite quiet, isn't it? It's quite well glazed. The door's very thick. There we go. That's one door. We go back into the main cabin through this other door, where it's nicely air conditioned, by the way. And now we're back inside. Now, I wanted to tell you about the fact that the air conditioning boxes on the ceiling, they're kind of particular levels, and they make great noises if you chime them. Yes, it is a thing. Everything can be turned into a musical instrument, you know. I have said this before, but it is true. Oh, what's that? That's a bottle of something on the table. We'll go over here and find one. Well, I did find one earlier, but I can't find one now. I know where one is, though. There's one in the cabin, so I'll go back to my cabin and I will show you what I mean. There's a raised section, square section, and that contains the air conditioning supply. So we'll go round to my side of the bed, and above my side of the bed is a thing. Here it is. It's quite satisfying, that noise. It's a big square about, I'm not very good at measurements, I can tell you that for a fact. maybe the size of a small tea tray, perhaps a silver tea tray kind of thing, and they all do that. There are different ones in different parts of the cabin, and they all make that kind of a noise. I'm not sure why. Maybe they're just mounted with very minimal mounting, but anyway, they all sound really good. So I shall shut this cabin door from the inside and have some peace and quiet. Thus concludes our tour through our cabin. I hope you liked it.